Hey, you're listening to episode 48 of Shack Together. Today we're going to cover the Xbox Developer Direct and all the news that came with it, most notably Doom: The Dark Ages. And joining us to do so is the esteemed Donovan Erskine. We are so happy to have him as we dive into the following. Synduality, we've got a review for that fabled release. It's here. Phantom Brave: The Lost Hero, a review for that as well. We've got reviews for Mika and the Witch's Mountain and a new Razer monitor stand entitled Chroma. Then it's on to news. The aforementioned Developer Direct. We'll dive into that. Ninja Gaiden 4, of course, South of Midnight, Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, and once more Doom: The Dark Ages. We've got a bunch of other stuff to cover on top of that, but you can hear more about it by sticking around. For now, we're going to kick things off. Thanks for being here. Here we go.
I'm just minding my own business. I don't know. I get my prescriptions filled at Walmart because it's cheap and we're in Trump's America, so cheap drugs. And I'm just walking, they kind of tuck away the pharmacy in one of the corners. It's like, I'm just walking to the corner, to get my medicine or whatever. And I'm taken back by this, it's like in the aisle, right? It's not on a shelf. There's like this display of Dunkin'. And we all know, I think America runs on Dunkin'. I think it's pretty clear America runs on Dunkin', right?
Sure.
Yeah. But did you know that they're making shampoo?
Yeah.
And conditioner?
Yeah, no. I mean, now I do.
I don't understand. Is it like chocolate or something? What?
So I'm glad you asked, John.
Boston cream? Thank you.
Literally Boston cream conditioner. Not making that up.
See, that's the thing. This should be like a mini game. Like, which donuts would make the best shampoos and conditioners?
Okay, so then we also have coconut milk and turmeric, which is for a curl-free or curl care shampoo and conditioner. Oh, that's 2-in-1. So that's fancy.
That is not a Dunkin' scent.
It sounds delicious.
Yeah,
actually.
At what point did Dunkin' start using turmeric in anything?
Yeah.
Ever. That's like, the Indian and Pakistani aunties. They put turmeric in everything. But I've never heard Dunkin' even say the word turmeric. So that's the 2-in-1, right? The Pantene competitor. And then they have another hair care product that's coconut and vanilla. So that's something.
I think you're burying the lead here. This is a mashup. This is a synergistic co-piloting between Dunkin' and Native.
Yes.
And Native is the shampoo that I buy.
So you're going to try these for us.
I guess I might. I do have a morbid curiosity, but I have tended to buy these because they advertise the fewest ingredients in the formula kind of thing. Like we made this shampoo out of dust and water and a little bit of animal fat or whatever. So I find it very strange that they're partnering with Dunkin', which feels like this is going to be a very sciencey.
You also got a sweet peach and nectar shampoo. And yeah, I don't know, it didn't seem horribly overpriced. It was $9.97 for a bottle. That seems
that's about right.
But
I kind of want to taste it. I mean,
that's what I was saying.
Put a Boston Cherry donut on the conditioner bottle. It's like a forbidden snack kind of thing. If that was in my hands, I'm tempted to put a little bit on my tongue.
Same.
Yeah.
And also, Donovan, if you look at that image, the last image there at the display, there's this picture of a shower head just sprinkling sprinkles all over these bottles.
Yeah.
So it definitely invokes. I was so shook when I was just walking, mind my own business. I'm in a Walmart in Canton, Ohio. I'm trying to get in and out, right? But you could hear my feet just go, because I was like, wait a second. I was like, first of all, they don't normally put shampoo in one of these showcase spots, right? That's usually in the shampoo aisle.
Yeah, sometimes it's like Cheez-Its, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or I don't know if they even do this anymore, but the bargain bin for DVDs,
Right.
So I was just wait a second. I was like, fuck it. I'm going to just go get my medicine. I'm like, maybe I'm just stroking out or something. And I come back leaving and I'm like, no, that's real.
I wish you bought it. I wish you got a bot. There's the unsaid thing so far is I like the smell of a donut, But can you imagine if your head smelled like a donut?
Yeah, you get sick of it. Also, let me ask you, can you tell, was it selling well?
No.
It was like completely
It was
overstocked.
very, very stocked. Like
Fully stocked, yeah.
fully.
I mean, I will say, I'm not exactly sure, but $10 is a little high for what I bet you are small bottles.
They weren't. Yeah.
Like, it seemed okay, or
they
what?
didn't
Like,
seem.
for
They
Dunkin'
weren't like.
Donuts shampoo. I think. Let me clarify. For Dunkin' Donuts shampoo, $10 seems like a lot.
It
That's
does.
exactly right.
It does.
That's what I'm saying. It's relevant that native is appealing in general. They try to appeal to like the almond mom consumer. That's why I think the Dunkin' mashup is kind of strange here.
So, John, to your point, Pantene Pro V, the classic clean 2-in-1, it costs $7.49 for the big bottle, you know, and that's probably twice the size of these. So
and
you're
that's
right.
a proper shampoo. That's like a proper, like all you got to do. Pantene's like, all we have to do is do shampoo and conditioner. We don't have to smell good or taste good, or
we don't need to put turmeric in it ever.
Yeah. We don't have to tease Donovan and accidentally have him in the hospital ingesting Dunkin'. Yeah.
The other thing is coconut does smell, and like it has a scent to it, right? And I don't know if I would want coconut milk in my hair all day. Vanilla's not bad. I wouldn't be mad at smelling like vanilla, I guess.
Yeah.
This is a weird one. Bacon, egg, and cheese on a biscuit?
Stop.
No,
Stop.
Are you on the Dunkin' website now?
No, I was just saying it.
Are you saying bacon, egg, and cheese shampoo?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, that seems strange. Anyway, $10 does seem like too much for that. The medicine I was buying was cheaper than that. And also, what the hell? You see, Walmart even says it's an everyday low price.
I mean,
they sit on a throne of lies, apparently. Because that's not a low price. Anyway, America runs on Dunkin', right? So I'm not mad at this, but I wanted to bring everyone's attention to it because I figured no one else knew that this was the thing yet.
No, this is news.
No, we missed that.
I also came across these it's like Frosted Flakes donut holes. Have you guys seen that?
That sounds crazy. That sounds way too much. Way too sweet.
It's a cereal, John, and it's like the consistency of Frosted Flakes, I guess, but in ball form with even more sugar. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of any of that.
No. I think we're entering a very weird time. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe Frosted Flakes will get in the shampoo game next. It's Shack Together in America on the internet. If this is your first time joining us, Shack Together is a Shack News video game podcast featuring myself, Asif Khan, co-host John Benjamin. Hello?
Yeah. He's muted.
Oh, he's muted. Producer Joe Stasio.
Hey.
And news editor Donovan Erskine.
What's up?
Not the hopes of Ravens and Lions fans. Sorry.
Sorry. There we go. That's all right.
I had to do it. Somebody had to do it.
Okay. I'm taking it better than most people. So
I know.
I don't know what happened there. My apologies. But hello.
It's all good. I think your mic.
No, it was like I literally was tapping on the unmute because I'm trying to be a cordial co-host, and it just wasn't working. So then I had to reboot it. So I don't know if that's Discord or Apple, but this is what's going on lately in this country.
I would blame Apple for most things.
Let's get political, baby.
No, let's not. Holy shit, let's not. But yeah, we talk about video games here, and we always ask people what they've been playing lately. So Donovan, I know you're not watching much football now.
Nope.
What have you been playing lately?
Still playing a lot of Marvel Rivals. It's become like the go-to play with friends game in evenings, and we'll probably still be that for a while. I started up a new...
what did it, like, for your friend group, what did it replace? Like, are you guys playing less NCAA, or, like, what do you guys... Like, what has it replaced?
Well, that's the crazy thing, is it's almost kind of carved its own territory, because it has been probably years since we had a multiplayer game that this many people were playing.
Okay.
Kind of like a handful of friends who like do NCAA. That's like a small group of a larger circle of friends. But I mean, everybody plays Marvel Rivals. Everyone I talk to.
I mean, the barrier to entry is so low; it's free.
Yep, exactly. So
that's great.
It's the first time in a long time that like there are nights where like there's too many people who want to play and we can't all be in a lobby together.
It really reminds me of Overwatch in 2016, Donovan. Like the amount of just interest that a game has. And I mean, Overwatch wasn't free, and it kind of took the world by storm. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
cool.
So that's been a big one. Also, I started a new Cyberpunk playthrough during our winter break, Cyberpunk 2077. I've been playing that off and on when I have time, and it's a good time.
Are you like doing different decisions than the first time you played through?
Yes. So I rolled as a female V this time. I did like the nomad background. First time I did male V. I did like the street kid. Okay. So getting some different backstory, some new lore.
Male V with a nomad background.
Okay. It seemed like it was pretty popular when it came out. But yeah, trying to do like a different play style. Obviously, they've added like the whole DLC expansion and updates and stuff. So it does feel like playing through a new game at this point. Where like I remember the spark notes of the story, but most of it does feel new again, and a lot of it is because again they've added a bunch of like features and content to us that came out.
I need to go back to that game.
I've been enjoying it a lot.
Yeah,
it feels like it's time. Maybe that's a PS5 game. Maybe it's a Nintendo Switch 2 game. Who knows?
Wow, ooh, maybe.
Seeing a lot of rumors about that thing. Boy, howdy.
Oh yeah, that's not going to stop till April 2nd.
Donovan, we didn't have you on last week. What's your concise thoughts on the reveal?
Ooh, I'm excited about it. I was like super excited when I woke up and saw the notification because we had all kind of just been waiting for it. And I was in California at the time, so it was actually like 5 a.m. when I saw the notification. But I mean, the actual reveal itself, it's like, you know, I watched it and I was like, yep, okay, so it actually is like everything that people have said it is.
Right.
Except the C button. They removed the letter C from the C button.
It does not say C on it, which I thought was interesting. Which
that's the Nintendo pettiness.
Yeah, but I'm pumped for it, man. I mean, I love my Switch. I didn't get one at launch. It was a few months later. I bought myself one for my birthday in 2017, and I love it. I played the hell out of that console, so I'm excited to get the next one and see what Pokemon Scarlet and Violet looks like on it, because that'll be the first game I try.
It's funny you say that, Donovan, because like the more I think about backwards compatibility, the happier I am about the announcement.
Yeah.
Because like I'll mention in the games I'm playing, but like it's got me going back to games that I haven't played in a while, because I have a feeling they're going to be around longer now. You know?
Yeah.
I think that's a cool thing, that our games, our save files get to continue to exist on a new system.
Yeah, I just had some friends, we were all hanging out, and they wanted to buy like a Mario Party Jamboree, which is the new one that came out. And there was like a moment where they stopped, and they were like, wait, isn't like the new Switch about to come out? And I was like, oh no, like you're all good. I mean, it's going to be fully backwards compatible. Like you don't have to. Everyone's just so used to like new consoles coming out from Nintendo. It's time to start from scratch again.
Yeah, it's like, oh, there goes my library for the 8th time. It's like, no, this time your library is safe. And I think that's a big deal.
Yeah, so cool. I'm excited for it.
Even after I burnt you out on playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, were you excited to see a new Mario Kart?
I was. As much as we like hemmed and hawed about like I'm never touching MK8 Deluxe again, I saw like a slightly different Bowser model in 360p, and I was like, oh.
You're like, I'm back.
Yeah. I said, I was like, I can't wait to stream this.
I can't wait to rank every map.
Oh god, yeah. That'll oof. Yep.
Well, that's going to take time, because we know there's going to be DLC, so we'll wait.
Right.
Yeah.
I have other racing game lists that I am working on, Joe. I'm going to rank all of the F-Zero X songs, and I'm going to rank all of the F-Zero 99 tracks. Because I think we're done with F-Zero 99 track updates.
I feel like you shouldn't make claims like that. They keep proving you wrong.
I'm doing this just so that Doug Bowser's like, oh yeah? Watch this. And he gives me more stuff that I can play that I love.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you're listening out there, Doug, and I know you are, F-Zero X as an update to F-Zero 99, just give us all those maps and those cars, and you got another year of just content there. But yeah, I'm interested to see what they do. I thought what they did with the Frozen World Tour was cool, so maybe there's more modes like that coming, but those are variants of levels, Joe. So it was like the same track, but with snow and ice on it. You know what I mean? So
sure.
I guess you're right. I shouldn't I shouldn't assume it's over.
Never say never.
Yeah, it's basically never say never the game right there. Cool. John, do you want to tell the folks what you've been playing?
I think I can, but actually, since we're talking Switch 2, you said you were like dipping into some of these classics. I'm very curious because I think I kind of got a similar itch, but I haven't really like fulfilled it just yet. I'm kind of stuck on Ragnarok.
Sure.
Not even stuck on it, just, you know, I have some thoughts there, but like that's a totally different thing than the Switch stuff. Is that weird? Is it? I'm sorry if there are notes and there's like a sequence and stuff.
No, not at all. What are you playing? What are you interested in playing on the Switch?
I mean, yeah, no, I mean, right now, like I think Asif might have mentioned Wave Race, and that kind of like brought like last episode or you know maybe
a few episodes ago.
A few episodes, and I was like, you know, I remember that like time period, right, where coupled with that new console. The fact that, you know, for example, there was Wave Race and Pilot Wings and things like that. And then on GameCube, it was, you know,
Monkey
like
Ball.
pretty, well, yeah, but I thought it was like, for example, Luigi's Mansion being, you know, pretty innovative.
Or like Rogue Squadron 2, like they were really cutting edge.
Well, there
graphics.
was solid.
Yeah,
there were solid things there. So I'm like, I wish that they showed more software, but, you know, the more that I think about it, the more I'm like, I'm just pretty excited for, you know, what's to come. So I've been, you know, I kind of updated the old Switch, you know, really, you know, getting the, you know, back onto like, I know they don't call it virtual console, but, you know, essentially the whole suite.
The Switch Online apps or whatever.
Yeah, all the Switch Online apps.
Yeah.
And it just reminds me of just like generally, you know, like, man, we are about to head into a pretty awesome period of time that just doesn't happen. I mean, the last time it happened was what, 8 years ago or 7 years ago. So it was just more of a general, like, at the risk of sounding nostalgic, it's just like, wow, this is going to be like a lot of fun. And I hope they bring it back like a Wave Race. I hope they bring back a Pilot Wings, you know, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
I'm talking like more recent. Like I'm talking like I'm playing Switch games from the first Switch that I haven't played in like 3 years.
Yeah, but like tell me, because I want to know like what
I'm putting you both on notice, Joe and John. I'm back on my Super Mario Maker 2 bullshit. My God, am I back?
That's funny.
And I'm making a motherfucking ghost house, and you guys are all fucked. But guess what? It's got checkpoints.
All right.
That's cool, man.
It's the trolliest level I've ever made, but it has checkpoints. It's got checkpoints.
Is it like a lot of hidden stuff? Or...
Oh, yeah. The first jump. You're going to be cursing me at the first jump, which is kind of my go-to move, right? I like challenging first jumps, because it's like, if you can't make this jump, just leave the level. You're not going to make it. But, like, it's also a speedrun level, which I know you guys like.
That's the best.
And there's definitely strats to that. Like, I'm already seeing like how you guys are going to exploit things, and I'm not removing those because I really enjoyed watching you guys and like Steve T and a couple other people. Like when Briefcase Level 1 came out on Mario Maker 2, you guys were all competing for that world record, and there was like strats and stuff. So I don't know. I was just kind of I'll just talk about what I've played. I was playing F-099, insert the crowd gasping. And I had this horrible night where it was like I was in 10th, I was in 5th, but then like for my lucky ranks, I was like 85, 89, 90 because I kept dying. But I was like in first place or second place when I died. So it was like a really frustrating night in F-Zero. And I like looked at my Animal Crossing logo and I'm kind of done. Like, I don't think there's much more for me to do in Animal Crossing right now. Like, I kind of did what I wanted to do. And I still have that Maker itch. So I like hovered over the Mario Maker logo and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play it. So I went in there and I was just playing levels. And I was like seeing, okay, what are the latest levels? Like, what are people still doing here? Like, has the meta changed at all? And I got inspired. I started making my own level again. Because I've never made a ghost house in any of these Maker games. So like Mario Maker 2, why I mentioned that is like normally a live service game from Nintendo like Mario Maker, that community would be dead right now, you know, leading into the Switch 2. But I have a feeling there might be like an actual resurgence in games like that. because people are coming back to the platform and they're like, hey, maybe online works better on the Switch 2 or something. You know, like maybe there's some kind of quality of life improvement for some of these games. But at least I know that unless Nintendo kills Mario Maker 2 to launch Mario Maker 3, I don't think that my levels are going to die as fast as my Wii U ones did. You know what I mean? Because that sucked. Like, watching the Wii U version of that game go offline and knowing that, like, people can't play my level on there anymore, that sucks. Yeah. But I was like, I have this feeling that, like, games that I love for Switch, like F-Zero 99 or Animal Crossing or Super Mario Maker 2, they're going to live on. And to your point, John, it's, like, super exciting and different. I think it's also going to be a huge motivation for people to buy a Switch 2 because their library doesn't just go poof. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it's an interesting time. But that reveal definitely is affecting what I'm playing. And then if we just want to keep going with what I've been playing, I've been playing Balatro on my phone. I beat the red deck on the red stake, so that's the first time I've won on the red stake. I know there's like 8 more above it, so I'm, I've played it on 3 platforms, but like the platform that I'm really grinding on is on mobile, and I'm really enjoying that still. And then I got to the fail condition in Disco Elysium, guys. I didn't know how to I didn't know how that game handled failure, Joe. I didn't understand.
Yeah. Lay it on
I don't
me.
think it tells you. It just kind of happens, right?
This sounds braggadocious. I don't know. I didn't see that.
Oh, look at Joe. Look at Mr. Joe over here. He's so good at being a detective.
So good.
I'm
Sincerely,
a shitty detective.
I don't know what happens.
I'm a shitty detective. I threw up all over my shoes and I quit the force.
Did you really?
Yeah, that's literally what happened, dude. And it's like, wow. This press release appears. Like, the game over screen is a press release about you quitting the force. It's fucking weird and meta. Especially because throughout the game, you don't know your own name, but then you see it in the game over screen. It's like, I was like, oh, that's my name. Interesting.
So now you know. Okay.
Yeah, and it happened to me twice. First time I didn't save. I hadn't saved in a decent amount of time, so I lost some progress. That sucked. Yeah, it's getting weird. I really like it. I like everything about where the story's going. I found a secret passage. Like, there's some cool stuff happening now. But yeah.
You think you'll stick with it?
Yes. Oh, I'm sticking with it. I'm moving slowly because I have other shit going on.
Yeah, it's okay.
But it's kind of my nighttime reading. Mm-hmm. But it's also psychotic.
It is psychotic, yeah.
It's I really, really, really like the writing, Joe. I think it's extremely well written.
Yes. And I have very formed thoughts and opinions on that topic, but I will save them till you're done.
Cool. But yeah, I'll keep playing it. I want to have that done, I guess, before Doom and before Switch 2 and all these things are coming. So yeah, it's the game that, like, it's I think that was my resolution last year or whatever. It was just one of those games I was like, yeah, I want to play this game. I want to finish this game before, too long. Yeah. But yeah, I'm back on my bullshit though, guys. You guys have all been warned. I'm making a Mario.
I'm ready, man.
Like, yeah,
I think I did okay. I mean, it's you
hold the record difficult. On level 1.
Yeah,
I still hold the record. I think Tominski was like crushing it.
Steve has the briefcase level 5 and the level 8 records. By the way, briefcase level 8, 0.15% clear rate, and that's like out of, I think, over 1,000. So yeah,
I mean, Lord,
it's very hard. It's a boss rush. There's no checkpoints, and there's a clown car at the end that David Craddock especially hates.
I look forward to checking out what's next.
I'm trying not to be as much of a dick in this level. I am trying not to, but I'm finding it hard. I must be channeling the psyche of the world right now in this game, but yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
I look forward to you guys playing it. I always enjoy seeing you guys try these levels, and I'm making it with you guys in mind because I just remember that there was like probably a month there where everyone was playing my levels, and it got very competitive on the speedrunning side.
John and I would stop working and trade world records on your levels for a couple weeks there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think I want to say I remember just pulling into such a lead that
You
I made
spooked me
Joe
off. Yeah.
quit the game. Yeah.
I saw it in the comments. It was like people going like, hammer suit, how? Like people are just like,
Exactly.
how did you do that? Yeah. So it's interesting because I played other people's levels, and then I went back and I started playing some of my own levels, and I was like, God damn, I can't even beat most of my levels, guys. They're hard. Like,
they are hard.
No, that's the thing. I think like if I went back, it's a problem because to like the old levels, like it's one of those special moments. I saw I think it was like TikTok or something. It was somebody racing against their ghost from like 5 or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And just how much better they were. And it's like, how the heck did we do this?
I don't know how I've only beat Briefcase level 8 once, and it was the time I uploaded it. It's hard. And then, Briefcase level 5 for Wii U, I think, was harder than the remake on Switch, but they're both hard. I think it's still less than 1% of people. But even my easy levels, like, people, it's like 20%. I don't think I have a single level that's like above 20% clear. And I'm like, I'm not trying to always make super expert levels. I don't know. I think
is there a way people listening can look up your name? I forget how it all works.
I think it's course based. You remember?
I think it's course based.
It's god awful. Like, that's the thing. I'm like, I remember why I bounced off of the game last time. Is like the discoverability engine for the menus of all the new levels. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, suffice to say, like when you're done with it, we're gonna share it. Share the code. We'll take the last 7 minutes of the show and
I'll
rattle
read
off
out
that
some
code 2 times.
Alphanumeric 9 character code. It has the remnants of the Wii U era all over it, and I just think like they need to take a look at Roblox or Fortnite and how they handle user-generated content and discoverability.
Well, I mean, I'll say I don't think Fortnite does it really well either. No. I mean, I think it's very similar.
But
Roblox,
at least at least Fortnite will use social to augment it, John, where it's like they will highlight some islands.
Well, no, they're good at that. Yeah, they're good at like highlighting creations. That's true.
Nintendo, they don't do any of that ever. So it's like
Fortnite also pays out a shit ton of money to map creators, which I don't.
No, Nintendo.
I don't see Nintendo. I don't see any universe.
I have not gotten a Nintendo check for any of my levels. That's another problem, though. It's like, and this is something that I hear about regarding user-generated content platforms in general. People are like, well, I don't want to work for them for free. It's like, yeah, okay. That's not what's happening.
It's kind of funny. It's like, that is not what's happening. I would love to see a Nintendo Roblox competitor. And how is that not a thing? And how do they not then dominate the market?
I feel like they've tried. Like they tried with Game Maker Garage, but they made that too obtuse. And then obviously.
Well, yeah.
And it was limited. Right? It was like, here are the things that you can do. Here's a sandbox that you can play in, but it's very Nintendo.
Yeah.
And like Mario Maker, I think is kind of close in their own realm. And that was honestly first before some of these other creative things. If you look at the Wii U version.
I mean, I think like Mario Maker and all that, because they never did like a Zelda Maker, right? No. And I think that's what we were thinking. Apparently, surely that could be next.
Apparently, Echoes of Wisdom started as that, and they decided
that's kind of funny. Yeah, that's actually pretty interesting.
And I feel that it felt like Mario Maker to me at times. So I get that. Also, Nintendo, I own SuperZeldaMaker.com. So.
Oh man, you were like, just waiting for the announcement.
just cut me the check, Doug Bowser. It'd be very nice. I'll work with you on this, Doug. What do you think? Over under on Doug Bowser interviews between now and June, just in the world. I'm not talking about a Shaq News interview. How many interviews do you think Doug Bowser will do between now and June?
Does an internal Treehouse interview count?
No, with actual journalists.
Journalists, 0.
Yeah, 0.
Like a proper interview, 0. You're gonna say one with who? Keely.
CNBC. Bloomberg.
Yeah, you'll see him on
Bloomberg's not a bad guess. Keely's not a bad guess either. Yeah.
think it's going to be a very friendly. I really think it's going to be a friendly.
He'll talk to somebody.
And Keely's a friendly with audience. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Donovan. What are you saying?
Yeah, no. No, I was saying he'll talk to somebody about Switch 2. It might be like a softball interview, like you just said, but
Rogan?
Oh God!
Shut up.
Worst time.
Doug Bowser on Rogan for 3 hours.
Just
what the hell would he even say?
See, I don't think either, and that's I know you say it as a joke, and I don't listen to Joe Rogan. I'm not saying that as a badge of honor. I just 3 hours, 4 hours.
Yeah, it's just long
every day. But like Doug Bowser doesn't have like I think Reggie. There's a world where if Reggie came to Nintendo Town this year, last year, whatever, I actually think there's a chance that Reggie would have made it to something like that.
Oh,
yeah,
there's
a chance. Yeah,
I have no doubt.
Bowser, there's zero. He'll be on the antithesis. What is it, NPR or something like Ira Glass? Yeah. I just not for anything. I'm not saying it politically. I just mean like Doug doesn't have that kind of persona. Does he? It's not a knock. Charisma, yeah. It's just Reggie's like he would actually be on Rogan. I could see that.
I could see that. But Doug is absent largely.
I think it's like just be. I don't want to say it sounds rude, but it's like it's okay being quiet. Like Japan's like we got this. Doug, Nintendo, US, we're good.
That's just weird because you go back to the Iwata, Reggie, Miyamoto era, and like so many synergies between those entities, and it feels like Doug is very much just in place to be the figurehead at NOA, and I'm sure he does a lot of work internally. I'm not saying he isn't, but like
no, sure,
we are missing something without Reggie right now. Reggie was great at launching products.
Reggie and Iwata, and there's no real replacement. I think Miyamoto, my position on Miyamoto, and I love Miyamoto, we all do. But just in terms of mascot, he's a Nintendo mascot, which is cool. It's great.
I feel like Koizumi is kind of the guy now. Like, he's the guy who's taken up the Iwata role in these directs.
They're trying, man. I mean, but Iwata was so charming. And like,
yeah. But we'll see what happens. What have you been playing?
Oh yeah,
still God of War.
I know. I kind of made this segment go a bit longer. God of War Ragnarok. I beat it. Yeah, I finished it.
Nice.
I'm going for the 100 because of the New Year's resolutions episode where I have three games. I got 100%. And I think I'm doing okay. It's definitely long in the tooth. And anyway, in terms of the main game, it didn't grow on me. And it was starting to in the middle, and then it didn't, and it became more still heavy on the narrative, but I didn't think the narrative was super strong, and it reminded me of what non-parents, and this is no knock on parents or non-parents, but it felt like non-parents writing about parents. You know what I'm saying? Like writing as what a parent must feel like and what moments are and this and that. Sure. And there was maybe one moment at the end where Kratos and the boy, Atreus, where they have a very nice, sweet, silent moment. Kratos has that moment. He kind of has a different moment. I don't want to spoil anything. And that to me was actually, for the first time in that entire game, it gave me like some goosebumps. It gave me like, oh shit, this is nice. This is actually really beautifully done. But I was hoping,
and the game is trying the entire length for that, right? Wouldn't you say that it? Yeah,
exactly. It's almost like a try-hard game. Yeah, like it's trying to pull on those strings. Whereas Naughty Dog, and I think this is maybe a studio thing. I don't know. But if I think about narrative and combining that with gameplay and whatnot, we talked about Red Dead Redemption. I think about Uncharted and how Uncharted 2 is one of my favorite games. I think beautifully, beautifully done.
Like a Dragon.
And even the which one?
Like a Dragon.
Well, Like a Dragon. Yeah, there are moments, man, that like, it's like there's a crescendo. But here, it's just like, it's trying forever. It's like it's much closer to Call of Duty narratively than I would have thought. And that's not a knock, because like Call of Duty, it has its moments. The last one was not bad. It wasn't a bad single player. I had a decent enough 10 hours, but it felt very long in the tooth. 10 hours on a Call of Duty narrative makes sense. 40 hours on the same similar style narrative, that was a little much. That said, character design's awesome. Odin's awesome. Thor's great. Character design's like tops. The gameplay's fine. And I'm going to 100% it, but you kind of wish, you brought up Like a Dragon. Like a Dragon, I liked going to 100, right? I wanted to get everything, right? Even friggin' Sega bass fishing. Like, what the heck?
Didn't you 100% Donkey Kong 64, John?
I did.
That's like, he's one of 4 people on the planet. You guys.
This is.
I'm just saying, like, that's. If you can do that, you can do anything when it comes to collecting things in games.
Yeah, so this harkens back a little bit more to that. But I will say, Donkey Kong 64 had more humor, and there's so anyway. I just
meant the tedium, that feeling where you're just like,
no, I know, but the tedium. But even with the tedium, it's like there was still something a little special about it that kept me going. Right?
You wanted to get that red banana because it was on a hard to reach place. Like, I get it.
Well, that it was also it was like a little skill based. Here, it's like, where are the Ravens? Oh, it's around the corner. This other corner. It's like, okay. Anyway, if I were to score it, which that's the easy thing to do, and it's so diminishing. But like with that caveat, it's a 7 out of 10 for me. And
same.
I wanted to like it. The original was like a 9. I actually thought the original, like the one before this, I thought was fantastic. It was fantastic.
I think what they did with the camera and that just alone was amazing.
And the character design was awesome too. The art direction was gorgeous. That snake, that world snake that you see in moments, man, what an epic thing. And they don't have that here. And I get it; it's difficult. That's a testament to the 2018 game. But you kind of hope that a sequel is going to do something. And anyway, that's my take on Ragnarok. I liked it. I'm going to 100% it. If it weren't for this New Year's resolution thing, I'm on to the next one. Yep.
Nice. Okay, Joe, you have a check mark next to a game. Does that mean you beat it?
Yes, that is the way to read that. Kiwami in the bag.
You beat Yakuza Kiwami.
Nice.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Nice.
100.
No. I do disagree with you on the 100%ing the Yakuza stuff. I mostly don't like the periphery of Yakuza games. If I encounter
the side quests and stuff,
I don't get into it really. I don't dislike it, but I'm definitely there for the main quest. And for the record, like some of the best in gaming, some of the best main quests in gaming, I think. Kiwami, maybe I don't as much feel that way. Kiwami was the first Yakuza, and it's a remake of the first Yakuza. So, that definitely came through. Like the storytelling chops were rough, I thought. Glad I played it, and it's quite short. I did the whole thing in 15 hours, which is certainly not the way those games are made.
15 hours. That's very fast.
Yeah, that's a quick playthrough
for sure. But glad I played it. But I'm going to dive into The Man Who Erased His Name next. Just grabbed that on sale.
So you never played that?
I never played that one.
Oh,
that was that like 3 years ago?
That was a year and a half ago.
Yeah, 2 years. Okay,
that was like right before holiday,
right before Infinite.
Yeah,
and that, so it was like it was
oh, that's right. Okay,
after Like a Dragon was Man Who Erased His Name, and then Infinite Wealth.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's a fun time, man. Are you trying to get all this done before Pirate Yakuza?
No, I'm not too into that. I'm not into the way that one looks. It looks fun to play, but I don't love the comedy side of Yakuza as much, and that one looks a little bit like it has a comedic bent, I guess.
Okay, so you're also playing the finals. People know what the finals is already.
Yeah, we could skip that.
But I gotta talk to you about this next one, Joe.
Yeah, go ahead.
You bought Donkey Kong Country Returns HD?
I did.
How many times have you bought that game?
This is the first time I bought a newly released copy. I got like an old Wii copy and I got an old 3DS
Okay, so you
copy.
bought used versions of the Wii and the 3DS version. Okay.
Yeah, like eBay copies, yeah.
So I bought this game for Wii and I bought this game for 3DS.
Yeah.
I just can't bring myself to buy this for a third time. So regarding those New Year's resolutions, I asked the panel here, can I please not play this game?
Yeah, of course.
Because like,
of course,
I've already beat it twice.
That's acceptable.
Here's a reason to do it, to buy it. I know you're a Funkle, as I understand it.
Yeah.
Man, my kids love this game.
Yeah. It's a great game.
Really?
I have
love
nothing
it.
bad to say about it, except for on the Wii, it made me waggle. Other than that, I love it. But I'm like, I beat it twice.
Yeah.
Please no.
I think did I say this on the show already? We played through Astrobot, and my son, who's 3.5, would on occasion be so anxious about what was happening in Astrobot that he would be brought to tears.
You did say that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so Donkey Kong, which is so much more difficult, this game is so much more difficult and precision based than Astrobot, if I'm just comparing them in that way.
Sure.
And yet, like, he's into the, like, I'm dying like 40 times in a row on some of these like minecart levels. And like, he's just like, close one, Dad. Yeah. It's like, he's like into the grind here.
Nintendo handles failure in games very well.
Yeah.
You don't die, right? It's not, it's retry, right? Or it's, you failed, right? Or like, you don't die. You never kill anyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
You defeat them. I think they're really good at making failure acceptable in games. Go back to the Mario game. That song that plays when you fail in 8-bit Mario, right? It like kind of makes you feel a little bit better about what happened. I think they just handle that better than a lot. And I think Donkey Kong himself is kooky and funny looking, right? So he's like, when he dies, it's like, like they're just like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah, they also like that his aim is so like Donkey Kong's goal is so pure. They're like, he's just trying to get the bananas.
Yeah, the plot. The plot's he's not rescuing anything other than bananas. So like when you fail to rescue an Astrobot or one of the cameo bots, like I could see how a kid would be like, oh no, we left them behind. But like here it's just a banana. Yeah.
Yeah.
The stakes are different.
Yeah.
Although he is devastated about his bananas being stolen.
I mean,
I would be too.
That is the whole plot of the game, is what happened to my pile of bananas.
Well, the plot of Mario versus Donkey Kong last year was Donkey Kong stole all of Mario's toy versions of himself. So it happens.
That was very mean of him. But anyway, we're like right at the end because we're just plowing through it because they're obsessed with it. They're like, can we play Donkey Kong? Yeah,
it's fun.
I love it.
It's really fun, and like I said, it laid the groundwork for I think everything that Tropical Freeze did excellently.
Yeah, so I'm stoked if there's more Donkey Kong coming. This is the best IP Nintendo's got. It's
boom. This is this time.
It's the most fun games they make for me. And I love Mario too, for sure.
I think that it's pretty clear they're merging these IP. They're Donkey Kong and Mario are going to be together soon in a game.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That scene in the Mario movie at the end where Donkey Kong gets a fire flower and then, Mario has the Tanuki power up. Who wouldn't want to play a game like that? I was like,
yeah, certainly. Yeah.
Like Donkey Kong gets fire flower power up. Yes, please do that again. Awesome. Yeah, I agree. We do need more Donkey Kong games. But I do want like a pure 3D platforming Mario game too. Like I'm not saying, hey, let's.
Well, that was like a prominent theory / speculation was that Donkey Kong would be heavily involved in whatever the next major 3D Mario game is. I saw that going around the Switch reveal.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope it's true.
Nice. And then Onimusha Warlords?
Yeah. This is a Capcom game from I think GameCube era. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
There was a Switch port and up-res, there's like very light work on it.
Yeah, remaster.
For Switch about 6 years ago. and it's like the game of the month at MinMax. So I thought I would dive into it, and I'm surprised. Like this is not at all like my type or what, this is not something I would typically gravitate to, but it's very interesting. It's basically like Samurai Resident Evil, and I didn't know that going in, but that's exactly
some
what
Devil
it is.
May Cry in it too. But yeah, it's definitely more of a scary horror.
I think I could see it. The subsequent releases going more into the DMC.
Yeah,
this is like maybe it wishes it was, but it's so like it's tank controls and
it's
old. It's old, but like the combat is like it trades that like single slow magnum shot for a single slow sword swipe. Like it is. It's very Resident Evil.
Yeah.
But it's very cool, and the whole game takes 4 hours to beat. Apparently, so we'll see if that proves true. I'm dying so much; it's quite hard. So we'll find out. But that's it. That's me.
Nice. I do want to mention one other thing. So I did play a little Animal Crossing, and I let one of my Islanders came up and he said, I want to move. It was Pate the Duck, and he's like a loser. I hated him. His house sucked. But this is the first time in 4 years that I've let a resident leave. So I thought that was worth noting.
Wow.
So we'll see who moves in, right?
Good.
I also saw the Aurora Borealis in Animal Crossing. I didn't know that was possible.
Wow. And you had never seen it before. Huh.
Pretty cool.
No. Have you seen the Northern Lights in that game?
I feel like I
actually
did, but
did.
Uh-huh.
Well, I did with the kids, where it was like that was just a really like
just randomly, right?
Moment. Yeah, very random. Same thing as the fireworks. Well, the fireworks weren't random.
Yeah.
But those are like really like cool moments.
Yeah. So I thought that was just kind of neat. I wanted to mention those two things. And then, I didn't mention my F-Zero rivals for a while here, so I'm going to just list them here. I played against Zero.exe and I lost. I played against Pugs Nugs. If I don't mention that I lost, I beat them. Pugs Nugs, H3 Knuckles, Blue Green, Bald, Hollywood, Ken-Tendo, Agent Luigi. I lost to this guy, and he's part of the F-Zero Discord, so whatever. I actually beat the Captain Falcon hero in the game. I also beat the Dr. Stewart hero during the event. I lost to Golden Sun, which, that's cool. I like Golden Sun.
Sure.
I did beat the rest of these. Oh, I lost to one other one. His name was Girthquake.
Oh, wow.
I lost to Girthquake.
That's pretty good. That's a good one.
I beat everyone else here. Good Gandhi, McStuff-Me, Resner, Cat Mouse, in all caps, Hyrule, Super Leaf, Chief Baba. I beat Nintendo, you guys. Just straight up their lowercase Nintendo.
Wow.
Game Wizard, Birdman, Skull Kid, Tech Chaos 90, Bad Luck RNG, and Czar Saturn. I want to mention one last thing about F-Zero 99. It happened to me last night, you guys. I lost a race by 2 100ths of a second.
Oh, jeez.
And the string of profane words that came out of me after that are not fit for any publication of video, audio, or text. It was really infuriating. I was having a great race. That last lap, I was trading paint. I was in first. They were in first. And then, 0.2 seconds. Oof.
Wow. So sorry.
Heartbreaking. But also, I told you earlier, I'm just having this, I'm racing well, I'm placing well, but I'm at this point where on that last lap, I'm gonna boost. I'm gonna probably live on the edge. And when you do that, you have very little energy. There's very little room for error. So you'll see these races I have where it tells you each lap where you're ranked. First lap, 5th, second lap, 3rd, third lap, 2nd, and then final 85th place because I die on the fucking last turn. See, that's been frustrating. But still love that game. Shout out to the devs. The Frosted World Tour event is now, or Frozen World Tour event is now over. I thought it was great, and I hope they do more in-game events. But Bon Voyage Pate. It wasn't a bad thing. He was he's like, I want to be a pop star. And I'm like, well, you're never going to be a pop star if you live on Cape Divix, you know? Like, so I was like, it wasn't a mean-spirited thing. I was like, dude, you should go, you know? And he was excited about it. That game, it is rarely negative, if ever. Right. But yeah, I'm glad he's gone. He kind of sucked, but I wasn't mean to him. Anyway, so yeah, I think we got a game coming up here.
We have, I think, officially the first game of the year.
Oh, cool. Man. Of course, Donovan's here.
And of course, Donovan's here.
I've never beat this asshole, even in the super mega battle that we had last year with our teammates.
One of these let's see. I think today's contest will be even between what I know about both of you. I think it's anybody's game, but we'll find out.
Okay. Well, let's get to it.
All right. We'll be right back. All right, folks, it is launch lineup trivia. Since we have launch titles on the brain, thanks to the Switch 2, I thought I would test your knowledge of launch titles past. So I bring you launch lineup trivia. The answers to the following questions will be names of games that were in the launch window for various consoles.
How do you define launch window?
A good question.
Here's the thing. It doesn't matter. Just know the answer. Just know the answer to the trivia question.
Okay.
But when in doubt, these games came out. No. I tried to 6 do months? Like the week of. No, like the day of.
I tried to do like that. Proper launch. Okay. That was my intent.
These are challenging to put together. So I'm not like signing my soul away to that commitment, but that was my intent.
You just said it on the internet, dude. Your soul is completely signed away now. Right. It's already been notarized.
All right, usual Shack Together rules. Buzz in with your name.
Okay.
If both players get it wrong, the floor reopens and you may try again.
So Donovan, you chime in by saying Donovan, and I chime in by saying Asif.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly right. Here we go.
Nice.
Question 1. This pre-installed PS5 launch title served as an... Okay.
Astrobot's Playroom?
Incorrect.
God damn it.
This pre-installed PS5 launch title served as an interactive demonstration of the DualSense controller's features. Donovan.
Is it Astro's Playroom?
Yeah, that's correct. 1 point to Donovan.
God damn it.
You know I'm semantic. You know that about me.
Stupid fucking robot game.
I don't like that game. I'm going to say it right now. I actually do.
It has the GPU song. Anyway.
Lousy
God
song.
Damn it. Jared Goff fumble.
Next question. This NFL game was an Xbox launch title that broke from EA's usual naming convention by not including a year.
Donovan.
Donovan.
God damn it.
5, 4, 3,
NFL Blitz.
Incorrect.
Asif. NFL Street.
Incorrect. This NFL game was an Xbox launch title that broke from EA's usual naming convention by not including a year in its title.
Oh, Asif.
Asif.
Madden NFL.
Incorrect.
I have no fucking idea.
When you say Xbox, you mean the original Xbox?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what he means.
I was sure you meant that or just on an Xbox console.
2, 1.
I was going to say Madden 25, but that has a number. I mean, it broke tradition because it was out of order. The number didn't call it Madden 15, but it
does
had a number
NFL Fever ring a bell?
It does.
No.
I was alive for NFL Fever. It was shitty. It was kind of arcadey, if I remember.
Most games were back then, despite even trying to be semi.
Yeah, but like some Madden tried to be a simulation, even if it was arcadey. NFL Fever, I think, was trying to be arcadey. But yeah, whatever.
Here we go. What futuristic racing game developed by Psygnosis was a North American launch title for the PlayStation 1 and featured music by Asif?
Wipeout.
Correct. Point to Asif.
Was that the Crystal Method you were about to mention?
Cold Storage.
Okay. I was just curious what band you were going to say. But that soundtrack was actually quite good, especially for the PS era.
Yeah, right. That was in the Tony Hawk days of putting an entire CD that you could put in a CD player, no less. Sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Here we go. This GameCube launch title traded platforming for ghost hunting. Donovan.
Luigi's Mansion.
Correct.
Oof. I don't know how many of these I'm going to get, so I got to come right in.
This Namco arcade port was a North American PlayStation 1 launch title that helped establish the console's reputation for 3D racing games.
The fuck?
This Namco arcade port was a North American PS1 launch title that helped establish the console's rep for 3D racing games. Donovan?
Was it Crazy Taxi?
No. No.
Definitely not Crazy Taxi.
No, embarrassing answer.
It's the only video game I can name.
Asif. Project Gotham Racing?
Incorrect. 3, 2, 1.
Asif. Midnight Club?
Incorrect.
Ooh.
You're in the wrong era, I think. PS1 was before, but I think those are like PS2.
I know.
The correct answer is Ridge Racer.
Oh,
I think, yep.
I didn't know that I honestly, where I drew a blank was the Bandai published. I was like, I can't think of a single racing game that Bandai's published. I was like,
this is prior to Bandai. This is just Namco.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. I was in the wrong era. Whatever.
Next up, along the same lines, perhaps. Which futuristic racing game was available on the Nintendo Switch's digital store on launch day?
Asif. Fast RMX.
Wow, perfect. Point to Asif. Well done.
What a pull. That's a good one. I would have never guessed that.
That's a game, I know I've said on the show, that's a game no one would know except that we all bought it because there were 5 games on launch.
Also, I'm an F-Zero fanatic, and that was the closest thing we had to F-Zero.
For sure. And it is actually a decent game.
It's not bad. I have issues with it, but it's not bad.
Yeah. This launch title for the original PlayStation in North America was the first console game to feature texture-mapped 3D characters in a fighting game.
Asif. Virtua Fighter?
Incorrect. The first PS1 game to feature... Donovan?
Was it Tekken?
Incorrect. 3, 2, 1. Asif. 3, 2, 1.
Virtua Fighter 2?
Incorrect. 3, 2.
Donovan, Tekken 2.
Incorrect. Okay, I'm calling it. The correct answer is Battle Arena Toshinden.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
No clue.
Yeah.
This GameCube launch title featured a hidden character named Private Carrera, who is actually a mascot for a Canadian convenience store chain.
Where's the when you need them?
What?
This GameCube launch title featured a hidden character named Private Carrera.
Donovan.
Beautiful Joe.
Incorrect.
Damn it. God damn it.
You just wanted to say that for the meme, right?
Private Carrera, who was actually a mascot for a Canadian convenience store chain.
Private Carrera? Asif. Resident Evil 4?
Incorrect. 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3.
Oh my god.
That's your game, man.
Carrera.
You don't understand, guys. I have like 4,000 hours in that fucking game specifically.
Yeah,
like
me too.
That game for GameCube. That is curse all the marijuana I used in college.
Let's see.
That synapse just would not fire, Donovan. I had it.
Yeah, I believe you.
This sports game with the tagline, "It's all about getting paid," was a North American Dreamcast launch title.
Wait.
This sports game with the tagline, "It's all about getting paid," was a North American Dreamcast launch title.
Asif.
Asif.
Come on. Virtua Tennis?
Incorrect.
Donovan?
I'm Donovan. Yeah, I'm gonna give a guess. I've missed a lot of console launches, guys. I'm just gonna guess a video game. NFL head coach. That's the thing, right? Wasn't that a game?
They did not have head coach.
Oh, I had that on Xbox.
Incorrect.
Can I guess again or no?
Yes, you can.
Asif, NBA 2K.
That is correct.
Oh, wow.
Wow, you're shot in the dark.
I was there, damn it. I loved the Dreamcast. I loved that system.
Very, very fun. Always a surprise and delight to boot that thing up.
Mm-hmm.
This pack-in launch title introduced millions of players to the new motion-controlled console.
God damn.
Asif.
Wii Sports.
God damn.
Correct. Wow.
Still the greatest pack in the game.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was Reggie's call, by the way.
I remember learning that recently, yeah.
Which PS5 launch title was a complete remake of a 2000... Donovan.
Demon's Souls.
Correct.
Yeah. Good one. Maybe someday I'll get past the first boss in that game.
Hey, gotta make it your resolution.
It's one of them.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
This Xbox 360 launch title put players in control of a shape-shifting princess who could transform into different elemental warriors.
360?
This Xbox 360 launch title put players in control of a shape-shifting princess who could transform into different elemental warriors.
Oh. I'm thinking of, but I don't even know if it's the right.
3, 2, 1. The correct answer is, and you may remember this from Rare's replay collection, Cameo, Elements of Power.
That's what Cameo's about. Okay. I'm aware of Cameo. I didn't know that's what that game was about.
That makes sense. I didn't have a 360 at launch. I waited till Gears came out.
It would make sense that you would have skipped this because it wasn't very good. And you would, like many launch titles,
it was really
sales.
Halo 3 and Gears that got me into the 360 ecosystem.
Yeah.
That was a few years later, though.
For sure. Let's see. What fighting game launched with the PlayStation 2 in North America and marked the first time its series appeared in full 3D with backgrounds you could knock opponents through?
Donovan? Tekken 3.
Incorrect.
Asif. Tekken 2?
Incorrect. What fighting game launched with the PS2 in North America and marked the first time its series appeared in full 3D with backgrounds you could knock opponents through? 3, 2, 1. Asif.
Samurai Showdown?
Incorrect. 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is Dead or Alive 2.
Oh. Is that series dead?
I think it's moved into full-time volleyball mode.
Yeah.
It's been like a Dead or Alive within the last 5 years, I think.
Okay.
But it was a volleyball title, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
I thought so.
Anyway.
That
was a good question.
They give the people what they want.
I can't remember that. I had no idea that was a launch title. That's wild.
That I think Tekken fits the bill other than it wasn't a launch title.
Also, I'm not sure which game introduced the destructible environment.
Yeah. It was definitely that era, right? That became like what you do in arena fighting games. Let's see. This first-person shooter, developed by Monolith Productions, was a horror-themed Xbox 360 launch title that had players using a forensic UV light to track criminals.
What?
An FPS developed by Monolith Productions. This horror-themed 360 launch title had players using a forensic UV light to track criminals.
Donovan? Was it Fear?
Incorrect.
Okay.
I'm going to guess something I think is wrong, but I'm just going to guess.
You're going to have to say your name first. Yep.
Yeah, no. Fatal Frame.
Incorrect. That is a Wii game.
I know. That's all I could think of.
3, 2, 1. Correct answer is Condemned. Criminal Origins.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I was such a 360 kid, but I was in my bubble, man. I was just playing like Halo, Madden, Call of Duty. I was not playing any of these games.
No. And maybe like a Panzer Dragoon or something.
Yeah, love Panzer Dragoon. Yeah.
But there were so many. The 360 had a lot of great games and things. Those early launch titles were not really those. But yeah.
If you're keeping score at home, it is currently anybody's game, and we have 2 questions left.
Great. This is where I choke.
Which wintry PS2 launch title capitalized on America's obsession with extreme sports?
Awesome.
Asif.
SSX?
Correct.
God damn it. It's either that or Tricky. When did Tricky come out?
Tricky was later.
Later, yes. Final question. This sci-fi first-person shooter was both a North American launch title for the Xbox and the debut of what would become... Donovan.
Perfect Dark?
Incorrect. And the debut of what would become one of Microsoft's biggest franchises.
Awesome.
Definitely not Perfect Dark.
Wait, can you say that question again real quick?
The sci-fi first-person shooter was this sci-fi first-person shooter was both a North American launch title for the Xbox and the debut of what would become one of Microsoft's biggest franchises.
Asif, Halo.
Asif, that's correct.
Yep.
And
I just wanted to make sure you weren't going to get me with like Halo 2 somehow, but yeah, or Halo 3. But when you said it was the debut, I was like, okay.
He could have got you with Combat Evolved.
Combat Evolved.
I was wondering if he was going to do that.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it, but
come on.
But no, Halo alone is a very much correct answer, so I accept. And that brings our final score 6-3. Asif. Well done.
Wow. I won?
Yep.
Congratulations.
You know what's going to happen after this podcast, Donovan? The Chicago Bears are going to hire my offensive coordinator, and the frickin' New York Jets are going to hire my defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to be left alone to bite your kneecaps.
Yep.
Sorry, it's Detroit Lions reference. I don't know how. Yeah, I just want to throw this out here before we move on to the next segment. You know, I moved away from being a Cleveland Browns fan. And Donovan, you were there when I decided this, and I kind of was going through the logic of why I was picking the Lions. And part of it was they're almost equally as cursed as Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
And this last week really highlighted that. So as a former Browns fan, I'm happy with the choice I made because I don't want to be a Chiefs fan and win every year. I want that struggle so that when we do win, it's going to be that special.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, oh my God, Donovan, you're on the fucking goal line going for 2, and you have Derrick Henry in the backfield. Anyway.
I mean, I get it. It's like hindsight's always 20/20, right? Because, I mean, he'd gotten stuffed plenty of times. That defensive line was bullying our OL.
Yeah, yeah.
And if they run and he gets blown up in the backfield, then they're going to be like, you have Lamar. Why didn't he have the ball in his hands? So, they just didn't execute, you know.
I also think it's really funny that Tom Brady refuses to say run-pass option. He calls it the triple option.
Anyway. He's an interesting football commentator.
Yeah.
I'll say.
Anyway, we'll be right back with story time. So stay tuned. Welcome to story time. Let's dive into the latest stories from the past week. It's Storytime Reviewsa, which is trademarked. It's the Reviews Palooza by Shacknewsa.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, howdy, do we have a lot of 7s to talk about here. Synduality, Echo of Ada review. This is what the hell is this? Like a mecha RPG?
Yeah. Yes. Third-person
hard-hitting
shooter-ish.
PvP, interesting loadout choices, charming AI, good vibes. Timo reviewed this, said there's some janky controls and overbearing shader effects, and the progression is quite slow. It's a 7, which is good. It's not great. He also called it the Mecha Extraction Dating Sim, which is a great subheader for a review. But yeah, check it out. If you're into AI waifus and mechs.
That's interesting.
Let's see. Next up on the reviews list, I believe, Lucas White reviewed Phantom Brave, The Lost Hero. Said, a pirate's unlife for me. He had this header in this review that had me cracking up. It's like Disgaea without the hell part. Instead, teddy bears. I'm like, oh, that sums it up for me. I'm in. It's a sequel, right, to a was this 20-year-old game?
Oh wow, okay, that was that old.
Yeah. It was a Wii game, I believe. Yeah,
it was a PS2 era game. So I believe it was on Wii as well, but I think it launched on PS2 in 2004. Right. So yeah, it's 21 years old, the franchise.
Wow. That's crazy.
A lot of people are like, this is a brand new game, because who knows?
So I would have thought.
Yeah, but it looks actually quite good. You know, it's not I don't think it knocked his socks off. It got a 7 out of 10 also. He liked the laid-back vibe. He did say it has some distinct gameplay mechanics that kind of set it apart from other RPG games. That's redundant. It's like saying ATM machine.
Yeah.
Fun premise and setting with ghosts. The cons are that it's very grindy, and there's so many gameplay mechanics that it can become overwhelming and complex. I call that the Xenobladification of RPGs, because have you ever tried to break down the battle mechanics of a Xenoblade game?
Right.
Yes. Not fun.
I was at a PAX preview for, I can't remember which, it might have been 2. And they spent 15 minutes explaining the battle systems to us, and I was just shaking my head. I felt like, I don't know. Yeah, it was just tough. And then he also mentioned that the story kind of plods along slowly, so that's not great. But yeah, 7 out of 10. If you actually remember the first Phantom Blade, congratulations. And if you don't, well, this is a new game. You try it out. Another 7, Joe. We're just handing out 7s here at Shack News.
Yeah.
Lauren Chandler reviewed Mika and the Witch's Mountain. It's a cute little witchy adventure. Lauren is our cozy game correspondent here at Shack News. Likes the gameplay loop, plenty of collectibles, different, character outfit options, and there's a very cute fishing quest, which is very important for me when it comes to cozy games, that you have a good fishing mini game.
You gotta have it.
She did say that she had the game crash on her several times, and the gameplay did begin to feel repetitive. But those negatives did not lead her to give it below a 7, so it got a 7 out of 10 here. And then
Lauren has become our go-to cozy game authority.
Hell yeah. I was chatting with her and Sam last year, and just trying to help those folks make some more money. And Lauren's great.
Yep.
And then Ozzy reviewed a monitor stand with LEDs on it from Razer. So are you buying this, Joe? Do you want to get the Razer monitor stand promo?
No. I mean, not because it doesn't seem like a good product, but the lights turn me off a bit.
Yeah. I don't want lights near my monitor.
Yeah.
But,
right.
It makes your desk look cool, I guess.
I mean, Razer is like on a mission to put RGB in everything.
Yes. And also just to make everything. Right. They're making cushions for chairs. They're making laptops. Yeah. I think at one point they were talking about making a phone, or they made a phone. Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't made like an iPad competitor at this point. Ozzy's pros were that it does have added ports, easy setup. It's got that Razer style, that like they're very clear, like clean black looking devices.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I would use this without the LGBs, or the RGBs. I think they look cool without the lights.
Sure.
Said it can hold up most monitors and arguably works better with a laptop. So if you're a person who keeps your laptop shut, this is great because you can put ideally, I think they're hoping you put your Razer underneath this. Yeah, I use my laptop monitor in my setup as I guess technically a first monitor, so I wouldn't do that. But if you need to raise your monitor, I guess this is a good feature, a decent thing. His negatives are the price, which it seems like that's a common refrain when we're talking about Razer products. They're kind of like Apple in that sense. This thing costs $199.
That's a lot.
That's too much. And then the other negative is that it doesn't work with connections other than HDMI. That kind of feels like a miss, given how often a monitor is going to use the, what the hell's the other thing called?
A display port?
Yes. Like, my NVIDIA card has a display port out, right? And a lot of monitors still have, like, one display port in. So, like, to not have that in this seems kind of silly.
Yeah.
But it is annoying that if you're using an NVIDIA card, I'm sure ATI has similar issues, like you have to figure out what's the device that's going to use the display port, right? And then inform the rest of your cable purchases around that. So I don't know, $199 for something that I could just literally stack some books and do. I know I wouldn't be able to put my laptop underneath a stack of books, but I don't know. $199 for this seems high.
I agree.
But yeah, Ozzy, guess what score he gave it? It was a 7.
7.
Yeah. Today's review was brought to you by the letter R and the number 7. Anyway, sorry. Moving on to Storytime Newsa, which is a news palooza coined by Shaq Newsa. Hey, did you guys see the Xbox Developer Direct today?
I did.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah, Donovan, we were actually in Discord watching it together.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly it's the year of Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere.
What's going on, Joe? We went from 0 Ninja Gaiden games to now 3 have been announced.
How do you feel about what you saw?
In altogether, or just the Ninja Gaiden stuff?
Ninja Gaiden.
I think it looks fine.
Yeah, it looks
4 looks fine. I'm reminded how hard 2 was and how I don't want to play it again. Like it's out and it's on Game Pass, and I'm like, okay, you guys. They shadow dropped it. I thought that was cool to shadow drop a game like that. I thought that was cool.
Dope.
Yeah,
but I'm not excited to play it again. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure what to think of 4, Joe. But I liked the wall jumping stuff that I saw. That made me kind of excited.
Okay.
I think I'm probably most interested to play the 2D1 Ninja Gaiden Ragebound that got announced at the Game Awards than 4 or 2 Black. But yeah, I mean, we went like multiple years without that franchise making any noise, really. They did the collection in 2021, but it didn't hush that franchise for like a decade. And now we have 3 different games dropping in 2025. And it came out of nowhere. But good for Ninja Gaiden fans. TJ's been super excited about it.
Yeah. And good for Koei Tecmo. Like taking their IP and working with other devs. So like interesting to see Team Ninja and Platinum Games working on this, Joe. That's interesting. That to me was one of the bigger stories. Like Platinum's doing this for Microsoft?
Yeah, that's what gives me pause. I was trying to not be overly negative, but
is it because of Scalebound?
No.
Do you remember Scalebound?
Of course I do. Who could forget it?
Do you remember Scalebound?
I remember hearing about it.
Yeah, that was gonna be a Platinum game for Xbox that just went poof.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to see that Team Ninja's still making games, and it's cool to see Platinum working on it. But yeah, I don't know, Joe. We'll see. And I noticed that they have a new protagonist and stuff. They're going to try to tell a new story. I don't really care about the story in those games.
Yeah,
it's more of a gameplay thing for me.
Yeah, and I think I'm not a huge Ninja Gaiden head.
Yeah.
But I remember it just being very meticulous and
unforgiving.
Certainly unforgiving. But Platinum, in my experience, is such like a hollow, very aesthetic game maker that
less gameplay focused, more set pieces, and
yeah. Not who I would have guessed to take the mantle. But
do you not like the Bayonetta series?
If I'm transparent, I think I've never liked a Platinum game, and heavily disliked most of them.
Did they make Astral Chain?
Yes.
Did you not like Astral Chain?
I did not. I did not. Hasmamu is gonna roll his eyes in my comments.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that later. So yeah, Ninja Gaiden 4 announced coming this year, and then Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is out now, shadow dropped, and on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, you can play it.
Cool.
I do not. But maybe after this event, I should consider it. All the games all the games that they focused on during the developer direct are day one on Game Pass.
Correct.
So then the next one, we got another release date. We got a release date for South of Midnight. Also, like a pretty long look at the gameplay, and also just some of the set pieces and art style. Diamond and I were talking about like it's this choice they made, Joe, to do like stop motion style animation.
Yeah,
I really dig it.
It's cool, but like when I first saw it, I was like, "Is this broken?" Because like the frame rate for only the characters were slower. But as you see them, they showed a couple of like narrative scenes. I think it's going to be a really powerful way to tell a story.
Yeah, I mean, a fantasy game set in the American Deep South. Obviously, a black woman is the main character. It seems like, you know, the stars are lining for this to be something really unique and interesting. I do hope that they stick the landing on it, but I'm fully bought in. After We Happy Few was their last game, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Compulsion, which that didn't do much for me. Still, I'm all on board to check this one out.
Yeah, I think We Happy Few was fine. But the part that they got right that I think they're kind of going ham with in this is the environmental design and like the characters.
Yeah.
Like the characters in We Happy Few were pretty well written. But yeah, interesting. And I think coming out sooner than we thought, right? Like I didn't think April.
No.
So
April, yeah, that's soon.
So it's nice because like some of these Xbox events, especially the June one, the summer one, they tend to be like, hey, and this game's coming out sometime in the future. So it's nice to get concrete dates from these devs. And also I thought they did a good job with each segment, letting the devs like speak and like showcase the team and stuff. Even with the Ninja Gaiden segment, letting the devs explain like why now's the time and what they think they're going to do differently. Like it was nice. Oh yeah, we got a release date trailer for Expedition 33.
Yeah.
Which is also coming out in April this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
French Persona, as I've seen people call it.
French Persona? That is a really good description.
That's very good. It screams of Lost Odyssey to me, the 360 JRPG.
Yeah.
From, Mistwalker.
It's cool though. Sandfall Interactive trying to make a JRPG style game, but in a different universe, and it
looks expensive,
different,
right?
Huh?
It looks so expensive.
Yes, it does look fancy. We mentioned that, like the graphics, the environments they're
like
building.
the UI when they're in combat, and it's like we talked about with Metaphor, right? Where it's like there's so much popping off the screen and dancing and colors and whatnot when you're looking at it. So yeah,
I'll get this. I'll give it a whirl.
Nice. Day one on Game Pass.
Ultimate.
And then the main event. Let's be honest.
Sure.
Doom, The Dark Ages.
Oh yeah.
May 15th, guys.
Yep. Not far.
I have to beat Disco Elysium before May 15th.
You'll be fine. How hyped are you?
I think I will be. Huh?
How hyped are you?
For this game?
Yeah.
Very. And I'm going to throw it out here, and I'll be the hater today. I didn't like Doom Eternal.
You're not alone though, right?
I'm not. But man, the shit I got for saying that in 2020, I just didn't like it. It was too much flying around and platforming for me, and I just didn't enjoy it. This seems to address what I was saying. Like they're like, I think Hugo put it like you were a fighter jet in Doom Eternal. You're gonna be an Abrams tank in the Dark Ages. And I'm like, oh, that sounds great. And then they show off the shield saw. You put a chainsaw on a shield, I'm gonna play your video game. And it looks cool as hell, man. They're introduced a parry mechanic that's gonna kind of couple with the glory kill mechanic. They revamped the glory kill mechanic. You get to pilot a giant 30-story mech. There's a flying cybernetic fire-breathing dragon that has a freaking chains gun attached to it. Like, this is like right up my alley. And I love everything that I saw about it. And it's like, it feels like every 5 years, id Software's releasing something pretty cool. And like, while I bounced off of Eternal, it's still an impressive game. The amount of enemies on screen, that was the thing I noticed in the footage we saw today, Donovan. It was like, there are a lot of enemies on screen.
Oh yeah. There's the one shot where he's like coming down the stairs, just firing. I think it's the Skull Crusher gun, and there's just like an ocean of like enemies there on the lower level.
Can you guys? I didn't get to watch the whole segment. What kind of game is this? Is it open world? Like what's the format here?
It's not open world.
No. Yeah, it's large environments.
Yeah,
largest environments I think we've ever seen in Doom. It's single player first person. I wouldn't say it's linear because they're kind of like, I don't know, if you played Doom 2016, it was kind of, each area was kind of its own arena. It seems like they just made very, very large arenas for this game. So I don't think you could call it open world.
No.
but at the same time, like, I don't know how linear it is going to be. So we'll see. But I don't care. It looks like you're in hell and you're fighting shit and you're blowing shit up, and they got cool guns. They added 3 new melee weapons. So there's like, there's the shield, but then there's also this ball and chain, and then there's like a gauntlet that you have or something. Like, all that shit looks cool as hell to me.
It's a prequel to 2016, which is an interesting bit of, I guess, lore story details there. I mean,
I was talking to David about that. Like, we think this takes place after Doom 2, but before Doom 2016. So we'll see where the hell that falls. Also, like, this setting, it could have been Quake, you guys. This could have been Quake. But you know, Doom's a bigger IP now. Quake's kind of dead. But like all the Lovecraftian stuff that you would see in a Quake kind of seems to be here in the architecture. Some of these buildings that you saw in this extended gameplay preview that they gave us. I think they took the feedback from Eternal though, and they're like, people like killing shit with crazy weapons. I'm like,
This definitely feels like a response to Doom Eternal. Even in that like hype trailer, they say that like, you know, they look at the tagline for Doom Eternal as like jump and shoot, and the tagline for Dark Ages is stand and fight. Yeah, and they emphasize that boots on the ground, back to basics. Just shooting.
They also said they revamped how strafe fire works to make it feel more like the originals.
Yeah.
So
we see
I like hearing that.
Like some sort of boss fight where he's like, you see him dodging like the orbs coming at him, and he's kind of just shooting between them. It was very reminiscent of OG Doom.
Yeah. So fuck yeah, I'm in. I can't wait to play this game. It looks fantastic. So that was basically it for the developer direct. I'm gonna give you guys the Jeff Keighley poll. What would you score this? A, B, C, or D?
Donovan?
I'll say a B, not because it's like games that I'm super interested in, but I just think that this is like a good formula for Microsoft now. It's the second one they've done. They've got like a good cadence of just like going to studios, letting devs talk. The production's very nice. Yeah, I like the way it's shot. There's a good mix of like gameplay. You can tell that
they did like some really cool shots in this one. Like I mentioned, there was like a walk and talk with Marty and Hugo.
Yeah, where they're like reverse, like the tracking shot throughout the studio. Yeah, that stuff's great. And then you can tell that they don't like put games on these developer directs unless they're like ready to tell you stuff. It's not like a logo reveal, as Greg famously complains about. But like, you know, they have the stuff when they do these.
That happens in June. That's the June event. The June event is definitely the here's the games coming out in 2 years event. This is more. I did point it out when we were on Discord. I was like, all these games launch this fiscal year. Yeah, for Microsoft, their fiscal year ends in June. So these games are all. I guess technically we don't know about Ninja Gaiden 4, but the other 3.
That one they said fall. That's fall this year. Which again, like TJ was surprised. He thought that was just going to be an announcement, and then maybe they'll date it for 2026. But you know, I mean, we complain a lot about stuff getting announced and then not hearing about it for years. So I appreciate that every single game was like out in April, out in May, out this fall, out today. You know,
I agree.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
I hope they continue that. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, moving on. Sony. It's a day ending in Y, or in a week that, I don't know, ends in K. They canceled new games from Ben Studios and Blue Point Games. My friend was working on one of them.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. I hope that means your friend can work on a non-live service game.
Maybe. Hopefully. He might leave the company. There's uncertainty at Blue Point Games right now about what they're going to do next. Which sucks because they're a very talented studio. While I was chatting with him, he did give me some advice on how to beat the first boss in Demon's Souls remake.
Oh, nice.
So maybe someday I will actually progress to the point where I can play multiplayer in that game. I'm going to throw it out here. I think Sony might be bad at making live service games, or they may be misusing studios.
I mean, it's almost like that initiative they publicly announced like 2 years ago, and they're like, we're going to make 12 live service games, was probably the worst decision they'll make this generation.
Do you mean the one where nobody got excited? The one that nobody wanted?
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it's so baffling. I mean, you come out with the PS4 where they were on just a godly run of, you know, God of War reboot, Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Uncharted 4. I mean, they were just Spider-Man came out. They were just putting out game of the year tier single player games every year, and sometimes twice a year. And then like, I mean, obviously now everything's getting scrapped. I think this is all fallout from Concord. I think they're like doing a full house cleaning after that disaster. But it's a shame. I mean, it's crazy to me that Bluepoint was. This is reported. They didn't confirm this part, but I think this was a part of a report that Bluepoint was working on a God of War live service game.
Yeah, like a multiplayer God of War game.
Like, what are we? Of all the things they could have been working on, they made Demon Souls. They could have been working on like Bloodborne all this time. Everybody's been wondering what they've been doing for the last like 4 years.
Yeah,
and that's what it was a God of War live service game that isn't even going to come out now.
Yeah,
it's just I feel like I could name 10 projects that they would have been much better suited to be spending their time on, but
especially in this era where we're seeing remakes do so well.
Yeah,
like why wouldn't you remake Bloodborne? It's stupid. And yeah, Bluepoint's just incredibly talented at porting things over. Also, Ben Studios is a capable studio. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
management, the people making these calls at Sony. I really question if they know what they're doing.
I mean,
on some better news. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, at this point, you just start to look bigger picture at like what the legacy of the PS5 is going to be. Because I mean, hoping these studios stay in business and work on new games. I mean, at very best will be like very late PS5 window releases at this point.
Yeah,
whatever they do next, we're looking like PS6 by the time they come out.
It's so wild how the trickle of stuff that we're getting.
They saw Fortnite and they're like, we need a Fortnite.
Yeah,
and it's like you can't just.
What if we had 10 Fortnites?
You can't make 10 Fortnites. Like, you can't do that.
Even
Epic
Fortnite itself. That. Yeah, Fortnite itself was like the B mode. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that wasn't even the intent of Fortnite.
No.
Yep.
They copied PUBG.
Yeah.
Yep.
But let's talk about some good news before I get to some bad news. Balatro has sold over 5 million units.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome. Congratulations, Local Thunk, and
well done.
The publishers. What's that? Who does it? Play something?
PlayStack.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I just love that at every opportunity, Local Thunk makes a point to like promote other indie games. Because I saw the post on the Balatro account celebrating this, and he says he's like, if this is your first time like buying an indie game, like make it a habit. There's so many other great ones out there, and I'm sure for a lot of people, this probably is their first indie game. I mean, they don't usually sell 5 million copies, so I'm sure a lot of people are picking it up.
I can tell you, like, for my nephews, it's definitely their first indie game that they've considered. Like, because they're very much that NBA 2K, Fortnite, that's like what they play. Right. I think they're playing Rivals. I think one of them plays Apex still, but like that's kind of all they do.
Yeah.
But this showed up on their radar, and I think it's because of the platform that Jeff gave them with, being nominated for the Game of the Year, and then, sweeping the Shack News Awards, winning Indie Game of the Year, Mobile Game of the Year, and Game of the Year. I saw Fran Mirabella tweeted about us giving it Game of the Year, so shout out to Fran.
Oh, really? I didn't see that. Nice.
Yeah. I've known Fran and I used to work on the same website, Donovan, back in the year 2000.
He's got some lineage.
Yeah. So, no, he's been a colleague and a buddy for a long time, and yeah, shout out to Fran for sharing our award. Us and PC Gamer, out of all the big outlets, we gave it Game of the Year. You guys want some okay news or some bad news?
I guess. I mean, maybe.
What do you want first? I'm gonna do the okay news first, then.
Okay, yeah. All right, good.
Assassin's Creed Shadows. Ozzy previewed it. It looks okay.
That's the okay news.
Yeah.
Is it looks okay Ozzy's words? Is that how he felt about it?
Ozzy seems cautiously optimistic about it. Okay. I think there's elements of this that look cool. The samurai gameplay, for instance. This game is violent. I mean, like, I don't know if we consider it a headshot, Donovan, but have you seen this chopped head animation? And like,
yeah,
they have like these brutal takedowns, Joe. They're like, it's just violent. And I know that's Assassin's Creed and the whole game's built around killing people and stuff, but like some Assassin's Creed games, you just sneak up behind them and you like cut their throat or whatever. Like this, you're literally chopping people's heads off with a samurai sword. So I think that looks pretty cool. He got a chance to see both the protagonists, so you are going to see like a more violent, action oriented samurai perspective, but then also you're going to see the ninja kind of parkour and stealth mechanics. So Ozzy focused on how this game is actually trying to offer the best of two different play styles in one game.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
That is cool. It's stunning. Visually.
Graphically,
this is unreal.
Very good.
Very impressive. If they need time to polish it, take the time you need to polish it. Yeah, I think it looks good. I ended up editing a lot of... I actually didn't edit. I was the one uploading a lot of the footage you saw on our social accounts. I had a chance to watch all of Ozzy's playthroughs. And yeah, it looks cool. This setting... This is probably the most interesting setting to me in an Assassin's Creed game in a while. Like the ancient Egypt stuff and Origins or whatever, it didn't really do it for me. Like I appreciate like how much they talked about Mesopotamia and all that stuff in those games, but like I just didn't care. I think it's interesting. I think it's cool to have a female protagonist. I think it's cool to have a black samurai that's actually like part of a historical tale in this game. Like it's just, I think they're doing some really cool stuff when it comes to that.
They need a win.
God,
yeah.
Holy crap, does Ubisoft need a win, Joe? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
The most important game they might ever release. I'm looking forward to it, though.
I'm going to dance around the bad news for a little bit longer, because it made me very sad.
It made me...
like, I'm hate you. That news. That this news really
the worst thing that's happened in my personal gaming sphere.
Yeah, I'm super bummed.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some good news. Is this the narrative director of FF7 Remake 3?
Kataze?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. They said that the story has been completed. And I believe a voice actor said they're going to probably start recording soon.
Mm-hmm. And we're looking at like a 2028 launch window.
Yeah. Sure. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
They hope to deliver a amazing product for part 3 without having to sacrifice quality over time. It retained the same staff from the previous installment, and that's why they were able to ship Rebirth so close to Remake. And part 3 will also have the same team. Rebirth was done in 3 years, and about a year was developing the DLC. So he hopes to stick with that schedule for part 3 too. That would mean 2028 for sure. But still... That's cool. That's coming out. Do you think it's on PS6?
I mean, it's on 2028. It might be cross-gen. That'll be a whole song and dance. Good for them. I mean, I'm not the biggest Final Fantasy person. I think the games have been impressive just as pieces of media. They're just so large in scope that it does feel a bit ridiculous. I still remember them talking about remaking one game and turning it into 3 and how absurd it sounded, but they're more than halfway done at this point. So, I mean, it'll be cool once that's officially finished. I don't know if we'll see anything like that for a very long time, but neat.
I mean, based on what Joe's saying, I think he'd like to play a Final Fantasy IX remake.
Oh yeah, I love 9.
That's great.
And I would, just so we're all clear, I will obviously be playing part 3. There's no world where I skip it, despite how much I hated part 2.
Yeah.
Part 2 was part 2, and I guarantee someone over there at Square knows about how much you hate it. Guaranteed.
Yes. Well, I'm sure they're listening right now. Thanks for
Square PR. I'm just telling you, they read Shack News, they watch Shack News, probably listen to Shack News, and they're like, that Joe Stasio, ban him from everything.
My criticism comes from a place of deep love.
Yeah, I know. They know.
Yeah.
They all know. So yeah, here comes the turducken of terrible news. I'm going to stick with the EA terrible news first, and then we'll end this news portion on the saddest news of this week. In the gaming world.
Yeah.
Because my God. Anyway, Electronic Arts, EA they pre-announced their earnings, Donovan. Like I was just minding my own damn business yesterday afternoon, and I'm like, I was like, why is EA? I saw EA on my feed, and then I went to CNBC, and I was like, oh, they pre-announced a revenue miss. So their full year, I believe their full year ends in the next quarter. They have a weird fiscal year. So they pre-announced a revenue miss for the full year, and they're blaming it on the performance of their games, specifically Dragon Age: The Veilguard, which reached 1.5 million players, which is 50% lower than EA's internal expectations.
Man.
So that's bad. And that's that's with the benefit of EA Sports College Football. They also pointed out that EA Sports Football Club FC 25, the FIFA replacement, it underperformed. So I don't know what's going on there.
We don't have any money. That's that is part of it.
If it's just that they finally bled their community dry, that would make sense. But FIFA is doing poorly. Maybe it's because it's not a World Cup year. And was last year a World Cup year? I think it was.
Maybe. I just love that even mega corporations have the same energy as a kid who knows they're going to get in trouble. So you try to get ahead of the bad news. You try to tell your parents
but this
before they find out on their own.
This is good behavior, though. We want this from companies. Right. It's better to do this than to surprise people at earnings with this. As a shareholder or someone an investor in general, I appreciate management teams that are honest like this.
Okay.
Instead of saving this terrible news for the quarter and having all these people speculate on your stock ahead of it and fucking up things, let's just be honest. This is a material miss. We're going to get ahead of it, like you said. But I would rather a company do this than surprise us at earnings. But yeah, it is 50% less than expectations for Veilguard is terrible.
That's rough. That is
1.5 million players is low for that franchise.
It is low, yeah.
But yeah. So oddly enough, the director of the game left BioWare. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The response to that game was just so lukewarm, man. Compared to the anticipation when they revealed it, it did not hit those highs. At least by word of mouth.
He did issue a statement to Eurogamer. Shout out to Eurogamer for still existing. At the heart of it, this was about my own fulfillment. I did what I set out to do at BioWare. That is to come in and help right the ship. I love Dragon Age and BioWare, so the chance to return the game to a proper quality single-player RPG was the privilege of a lifetime. It was hard fought, as games with such tumultuous dev cycles rarely end up shipping. Eesh. And even more rarely turn out great. Ugh. We as a team did it, and it was hard. It took a toll on me. BioWare still has a lot of work to do culturally, but I do believe they're on the right footing now. As for me, my departure was voluntary, as I have been presented with an opportunity I couldn't turn down. Huh.
Well,
I don't want to say much more right now, but you can count on it being in the CRPG space and upholding the traditions of great characters. I don't know. It sounds like something happened. Not the most
inspiring statement, but
no, that part about he called it a tumultuous dev cycle.
Yeah,
he's making it sound like shipping this game was a fucking miracle.
He does, which to be fair, making games is hard.
Shipping anything's hard.
Yeah, I get it. But yeah, reading that, that doesn't sound good at all.
Yeah, and the game wasn't a train wreck,
No.
The takeaway from that game, Donovan said lukewarm. It's been pretty tepid in terms of player response, but it's definitely not busted.
No, it's just kind of boring.
Yeah.
I saw more clips from Dragon's Dogma last year on social than I did the Veilguard. When compare it with Inquisition was everywhere in 2014. Yeah. So just from a popularity standpoint, they made some missteps. And I know all the armchair financial analysts of the world on the internet are going to blame it on something else, but we're not here for that. And now on to the worst news ever.
Ugh.
I hate this news. Earthblade has been canceled. This is the game. This was the next game from the team that brought us maybe one of Joe's favorite video games of all time.
Yeah.
Celeste. Extremely OK Games is the name of the studio that formed from that team. And Maddie Thorson took to their blog to explain what happened. There's some arguments about who owns the IP rights for Celeste that were part of this issue.
Yeah, they keep it a bit vague, but they say that there was some sort of falling out regarding the rights to Celeste. And
correct.
They reached a resolution, but not happily. They still decided to go their separate ways afterwards.
And one of their devs has left to begin another project as of December last year. So this is about 6 weeks after it happened internally that they're talking about it. This was on our most anticipated games of the year 2025 list here at Shack News.
Just wrote that.
Been really looking forward to this game. I absolutely love Matty Thorson. I think they make amazing games.
Yeah.
And if they don't think it was good enough, or if they thought there were problems with it, and like they even talk about how it affected them mentally, like their mental state had been affected by this game, and just so much of what I read here, I kept thinking, man, I bet Team Cherry's going through something really similar right now. Maybe not an IP issue, but like the stress of release, like what Local Funk's gonna feel if he releases another game, right? Like that second game after an indie smash hit has got to be really, really stressful.
Oh yeah,
and
I mean, this is the most sad I've been reading a game delay or game cancellation announcement in many years, maybe ever. And it's not just because, like, obviously I'm sad the game got canceled, but it would have been one thing if I opened like the link to that statement and it was just like, financially we ran out of road, we couldn't afford to do it anymore. It's like, it sucks, but that is how the industry goes. But there's something so sad in just the heartbreaking of it, just the source being one, a fallout between people who were friends, may still be friends. They do shout out the other developer's game, but even just to them, how they talk about like they still thought about pushing forward after they lost a member of their team, and they were just like, no, like they say in the statement that it was relieving to cancel the game, that it was just bringing them so much pain, and that they didn't love it, and it wasn't what they wanted it to be, and it wasn't as far along as it should have been for how long it had been since they announced it. It was just so sad to read.
Yeah. We love you guys over at Extremely OK Games. We hope whatever you decide to do makes you happy. And just thank you for making Celeste. It's such a magical thing. And even Towerfall. If you haven't played Towerfall, it's great too. Also, Maddie does these Mario Maker levels that are probably the best I've ever seen. So yeah, just sad news. We're all looking forward to it, but we understand and we appreciate that team. On to Storytime Industruza, which is Industry News Palooza, brought to you by Shack News. We're going to go through this quickly. Samsung announced new S25 smartphones with an emphasis on AI. Whatever.
Yep. You can ask it. There's such a stupid example they gave in the thing where they were like, what's a dog-friendly vegan restaurant in my town? And I was like, what universe?
Yeah. The phone starts at $800. The S25 Plus is $1,000, and then the S25 Ultra is $1,300. I'm sure MKBHD will have a review for you shortly. He loves this line. This is usually his favorite Android phone of the year.
Yeah, the design looks nice. They have like the rounded edges. I thought it looks solid.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's expected to ship on February 7th. So if you're an Android user and you like that Samsung and you need to have Bixby in your life, are they still calling it Bixby, Donovan?
It's Galaxy AI is the personal assistant.
They killed Bixby.
No word of Bixby in any of that. Any of those press releases.
Pre-order canceled. We were just talking about a dev leaving a studio, and now we have another one here. This one's concerning, Donovan. The CEO of Insomniac Games, Ted Price, has announced his retirement.
I mean, I don't know. It doesn't have to be concerning. I mean, I guess at some point he's got to retire. I don't know if there's ever a good time to leave. They're always going to be working on something.
A good time to leave would be after Marvel's Wolverine comes out, because that is me concerned.
I mean, Ted Price is an industry legend. I think they announced immediately he's going into like the DICE Hall of Fame. Yep. He's been around for decades.
Yeah,
he's a part of that,
years.
Early generation of like video game visionaries.
And to be fair, he's he started this when he had control over his company, and now it's a Sony subsidiary. So
yeah,
it's a different job that he has had for these last few days.
Yeah, it doesn't make me panic about Wolverine now. If like Brian Intihar leaves, like we start seeing like game directors start getting out of there, then I might get a little worried. But I don't know. I mean, I read a statement. I thought it was cool. He talked about the wildfires that have been happening in Southern California over the last week or so, and how the team at Insomniac has kind of rallied to help each other, the people at the studio who are affected by the fires, but also people in the community around their studio. I thought that was neat. And they've got, this is kind of weird, 3 co-heads?
Yes.
taking over.
I was gonna bring this up. That reminds me of that Office episode. You know, like
oh yeah, they're all the boss.
Oscar's like, who doesn't know the two popes? Like,
yeah,
replacing Ted Price is not easy, Donovan. It takes 3 people.
Yeah.
So clearly he was doing some awesome stuff for them. I'm worried. I don't. Netflix, maybe it's not going to affect Wolverine. Maybe it won't. But like, he was a great leader to this team and for this team. And he's an instant Hall of Famer. I guess, I don't know. Have we not? I think we've inducted Insomniac into the Shack News Hall of Fame, but maybe he needs to go in as an individual too.
Definitely. Yeah.
We love Insomniac games around here, man. We fucking love their games.
I mean, they're probably my favorite PlayStation studio right now.
Same.
Just pound for pound.
It's tough because I also like Naughty Dog.
Naughty Dog's phenomenal.
I also like Sucker Punch.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Housemarque's not bad either. The Returnal.
Can't wait to see what they do next. That game is awesome.
So yeah, there's a lot. Anyway, moving on. The New York Game Awards happened. Did you go, Joe? Were you there?
I was there. I was not there. No.
Okay.
I got invited to that last year and didn't go, and I didn't get invited this year. So now I feel like I might have made a terrible mistake.
Loser. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's whatever. We can ask. Game of the Year, Astrobot.
Yeah.
Best indie game, UFO 50.
Good for them.
Best writing game, or best writing in a game, Metaphor Refantasio.
Deserved.
Statue of Liberty Award for Best World goes to Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree.
How can we make this about New York? Yeah.
Best music in a game went to Astrobot, Joe.
Hey, I'm not going to yuck anyone's yum.
Yes, you are. Best acting in a game went to Troy Baker as Indiana Jones in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Man, I did not like that game.
Well, he killed it, though.
He's great. His voice acting is great in it. I'm not saying anything about his voice acting. I just did not like that game. Best AR/VR game, Batman Arkham Shadow. Sound familiar, Donovan?
Oh, yeah.
That won ours.
Hey, who came in second place for that category? At
Shack News?
Yeah.
Good question.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
I'll go watch the video, damn it. There's a whole video of the deliberations that'll tell you that answer. I can't remember. We did like 65 awards, and I was wearing that stupid wig. This shit gets into your brain. Anyway, best kids game went to Astrobot. Best mobile game, not Balatro, Zenless Zone Zero from the Hoyoverse.
Hoyoverse.
Best remake went to Silent Hill 2. Chumley's Speakeasy Award for Hidden Gem went to Mouthwashing. Best DLC went to Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree.
Sure.
And the Knickerbocker Award for Best Games Journalism did not go to Donovan.
God damn it. Huh.
It went to Simone de Rochefort and Clayton Ashley. And
they're very deserving.
And then the Andrew Yoon Award recipient went to Sam Lake. Andrew Yoon was the editor-in-chief of shacknews.com when I bought the place. And then he passed away a few years later in a horrible accident. And that award honors his legacy as a games journalist. He did some really interesting things. He did this thing called the United States of America, where he was like driving across the country and chronicling it. And he made a game as a tabletop game called Divorce the Game. You can check that out too. So yeah, shout out to the New York Game Awards and all the winners. Congratulations. Those are all great games. Check them out. Even if Joe hates Astrobot. And then lastly, Netflix reports blowout earnings and raises prices again. It's now premium subscription is now $24.99 a month, and the ad-supported tier is $7.99 a month. So now the ad-supported tier, I think, costs more than Netflix originally cost.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Netflix. The stock hit an all-time high.
Hundreds of millions of dollars ago.
Yeah. They won.
Yeah. I mean, despite the fact that every studio now has their own streaming service, the streaming game is still a one-horse race. It is Netflix, and then there's like a few miles of distance, and then it's like Disney Plus, and there's like another 8 miles.
Amazon Prime.
Amazon's up there. But
I would say Amazon's up there because they just have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Apple's up there because they have a lot of money, but they're not.
It ain't coming from Apple TV.
No. They're actually probably losing money on Apple TV.
Definitely.
Silo's very good. Everyone watch Silo.
Hey, if you haven't spoken to Sam Chandler about it, we did our Pop Goes the Culture stream just before this recording, and he was in the chat asking about Silo.
Sam and I are very in sync with things, it seems.
Nice.
I am not. I don't have Apple TV Plus, so I don't watch it.
It'll come to DVD.
Maybe sometime on Pop Goes the Culture, Donovan, I'll stop by, because I don't think I reviewed the Jamie Foxx special on Netflix.
No, you didn't.
I can talk about that. Have you seen it?
No, I don't think I knew there was one, to be honest.
It's interesting, man, because, he had that health scare.
Yeah, I saw that he revealed more about that recently.
Yeah, he talks about it specifically during that I don't even want to call it a stand-up special. It's more just like a one-man show, I think is the best way to describe it. Mm-hmm. It's interesting. I actually would recommend watching it. If you like Jamie Foxx, which I do. I think he's funny. But it's not a comedy thing. It's very much serious. At one point he has 2 daughters. He brings them out on stage and thanks them, and he talks about his sister. Because the first doctor who saw him, they just sent him on his way, and he was having an episode. They didn't even know.
Man.
But yeah. Netflix, man, they're just out there, though. Like, Netflix has WWE Raw now. Netflix had that successful NFL broadcast. Like, they're just doing very well. And they always seem to be, one move ahead of everyone else in the streaming space. Like, they see trends before anyone else, and they're very good at capitalizing on that. And then with respects to gaming, they're actually releasing some good games. They're publishing some really good games. Monument Valley 3 was the most recent one. And they're talking about bringing more of those games to the television through cloud and stuff. So definitely just keep your eye on Netflix.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a stock investor. I mentioned some price points on the last Game Trader to pay attention to, and it's above those prices now. So I wish I would listen to my own damn advice on that show sometimes. I didn't buy any Netflix, dumbass. Anyway. So yeah, that'll do it for today's show. We got one community note. We got questions from the Shack News community, which you can join and probably take over at this point if you go to shacknews.com/chatty. Here, it's really happening place today. By emailing us at, you know what? Or yeah, you can email us at donovan.erskine@shacknews.com if you can figure out how to spell Erskine.
Yep. Disappointed. I haven't gotten the emails as a result of being on the show, but maybe people really can't spell my last name.
I have a feeling that's what's going on here. There's there's a Donovan Erskine without an E who's why do they keep emailing me about this Shack News? And then the inverse is there's some Asif Khan guy who runs a hotel, and people email me about booking the hotel.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. That's you should try and accommodate them.
Yes. Maybe that's the business model that turned Shack News around. Hotel pivot. But yeah, Hasmamu Corner. Hasmamu posting in reply to our YouTube post for this podcast said, "Wow, Joe is tough to impress." I agree.
Yeah, there's a theme. I get it.
That's so funny.
You are the disapproving uncle of Shack Together.
You gotta have one.
Yeah. You're the Russian judge at the Olympics.
Russian judge.
I like to think I call out exceptional work too when I see it.
You do.
I think you do.
I think that's kind of the other side of it. You're tough to impress, but when you are impressed, you're not afraid to tell people why.
Mm.
That's right. Everyone take that to the bank.
Yeah. If Joe likes a game, it's good. That's all I know. It's very rare where Joe's like, "Hey, I like this game," and I play it. I'm like, "Oh, that's shit." No, if Joe likes the game, it's good.
Yeah, you hear that, X-Defiant haters?
Damn.
Look, we are a pro X-Defiant podcast.
That game was fun. I'm with you.
So much so, I tried to download it and I couldn't, and I felt bad.
Thanks for trying.
What are you going to do? That's going to do it for today's show. Donovan, thanks for joining us here at the Shack News Extended Podcast Universe, or the SIPU, as they're still calling it. They're still calling it that, right?
Yes, last time I checked.
Yeah, and I got the ticker just spewing out dot matrix paper onto my lap.
So I actually watched a movie recently that had a real ticker featured in it. Yeah, but because I've been talking about the Hudsucker proxy so much with people, my brother just finally put it on the TV the other day and we watched it.
Nice.
It's still really good. It's still excellent. And it's exactly what's going on at Ubisoft right now. So subscribe to our podcast on your app of choice or on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, review. If you made it this far and you like us, please leave us a review on whatever podcast facility, vote for Shack Together, and yeah, there's all these other things that we'll list off here after the show. Do all those things. Yeah, play Bubbletron.
Yeah.
Been pretty fun lately.
Bubbletron.com.
It's been a very lively leaderboard lately, Joe. That'll do it for today's show. This is where we wave at the camera that's not on. We say thank you. I'll never forget you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks for being here, Donovan. All right.
Thanks for having me.
See you next week.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack News is a multimedia company consisting of a variety of entertainment properties, including ShackNews.com, video game and cutting-edge technology coverage with evergreen video, guide, and long-read content, providing readers and viewers with the latest reviews, previews, interviews, and news. Shack News content is readable and viewable at ShackNews.com, Facebook, YouTube at Shack News Interviews, and Shack News VODs, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at Shack News Media, Twitch, and more. But that's not all. You can play Bubbletron, our first video game. Combine 3 ideas, hit the market, and get your money hat. Bubbletron is a daily game in the style of Wordle, where players can launch a company and see its valuation instantly. Hit that high score and brag to your friends. Visit Bubbletron.com to play. There is no download required, no signups required, but if you are into app downloads, we have the cutest one on the planet. It's called Shack Pets, the ultimate battle for cuteness. Swipe your pets to victory on iOS and Android in this Tinder-like app for pets. Shack News is proud to present a variety of micro products, all available for free at shacknews.com. Cortex is a publishing platform available to all of our users. Shouts is a Twitter replacement in a time where Twitter really needs replacing. And Reader, an RSS reader that won't get shut down by Google anytime soon. You can import YouTube, subreddits, all sorts of cool stuff, even podcast feeds. And lastly, all of our products are completely free to use and play, so if you're a fan of what we're doing and want to support the Shack News ecosystem, head over to shacknews.com/Mercury. Mercury offers subscribers access to exclusive Shack News swag like hoodies and VIP access to our long reads in downloadable format. It's a great way to support us. There's different tiers, and you get a lightning bolt next to your name.